So what we do is we first make an analysis of this. So this is 1 plus 9 is 1 plus 8 plus 1 and 9, the century, that's 1 plus 9 is 10, is 1. So it's always a single digit. And then 4 and 6 is 1. So we add that all up, we get 1 plus 8 is 9, plus 1 is 10, 11. So the birth number or the destiny number, or however you want to call it, of this person is 11. And because 11 is one of the three master numbers, 11, 22, 33, we use it both ways. So we make it a single digit number 2, which the person embodies those qualities, but it's a double number. So if somebody is 33-6, you keep it like that. Somebody's a 22-4, you keep it like that. And in this case, this person is an 11-2. So now, as always, I'm going to make the pentagram, which is basically the same as Leonardo da Vinci's human being, you know, the person with the outstretched arms, the legs, the head. And I use that as a symbolic symbol. It's also used in magic and esoterics. And this is the way I've learned how to do this. So then we put the numbers of the birthday in this. And running a little bit out of space here. Let me see, I already made it previously, so I can just write it down from my notes. And just a few minutes, and we will be able to look at this together. Aha, that's interesting. And do an analysis on this chart. So there you have it. Excuse me. And there's also one line like that. Ooh. So what does that mean? First off, just from an astrological point of view, it's somebody who's born in August, a Leo, and outwardly, this person is a number 9. And inwardly, this person is a number 1. Excuse me. Now that right away is interesting because the number 9 quality stands for the spiritually, philosophically evolved person. It's a higher vibration in numerology. And it's about altruism and humanity and doing the right thing and all of that. And consciousness, and I'm not saying the other numbers aren't, but anyway, so it's a general description. And then number 1 is very much about me first, I, individual, new beginnings, masculine energy. Selfish is not the word, but definite self-interest. Now, however, this person, as we can see here, is actually a number 2, an 11-2. So that means on the one hand, there are 2 1s, which denote that strong, individuality, but it does add up to 2. And 2 is all about harmony, balance, yin and yang, positive, negative, one side of the story, the opposite side, duality. People who are number 2 people very often have one foot in what I call this physical world, and they have one foot in the unseen world or in a different dimension or a different reality. And so on a spiritual level, these people are usually can evolve to quite high spiritual degrees. And on a more down-to-earth personal level, 2 people tend to get really bogged down and mired down and bothered by details. And they find this 3D, 4D reality quite challenging. And as a 2-person, or if you're in 2-year, you're always going back and forth, like a Libra, like, oh, should I do this? Should I do that? Oh, what if I do that? Yeah, but if I do that, then there's this endless, in Dutch we say, ja, maar, but in English, there's this endless, oh, no, but I think, oh, no, there's this constant seesawing back and forth, really. So anyway, and 2 people generally are good leaders, and generally they're kind of leaders behind the scene. In this case, that was not the case, but that's very often on a, general level. That's what happens with 2 people. Now, let's look at this because, wow, what a chart. So as we said the last time, this is the feminine side, this is the masculine side. You could say that it's pretty equal. Most of the numbers are on both sides, maybe a little more on that side. Now, these are your feet, your arms, like I said, masculine side, feminine side. And what we see here to begin with is this person has got this line happening. And that is pretty cool, because what that means is that these people have very strong willpower. So whatever they decide up here mentally, they can manifest down here in form. So one lucky dude. Oh, that was giving away a little bit of who this is. But anyway, one lucky person. Now, there's another line which we have drawn here. And interesting enough, that's also a cross. For what it's worth, for what it might mean. And one of the, in one of the explanations of the cross is, cross the eye. In Christianity, it's like, cross out the I or the ego or the selfishness or your little self, if you want. So having said that, what this means is that these are people, and specifically this person, who feels a lot, but isn't really allowed to feel it. I know it sounds a little vague maybe, but basically you could say that underneath this line is the area of your feelings and emotions, and this is a lid on it. That's the best way I can describe it. So these people have a lid on their feelings, and then once in a while it kind of opens up, and then they can be emotional about stuff. But generally, it's pretty tight. One other thing with this number 2, people can be quite sentimental and bordering on the mushy, and quite gentle and quite feminine. Effeminate? Do you say feminine? Anyway, quite feminine. So there you have it. So this is a very interesting cocktail. Now, this means, and it sounds paradoxical to this line, but this here means that these are people who feel a lot, who can feel a lot, maybe rephrase that, and people who are also, it stands for home, family, sexuality, and also the ability to intuit things, but not from an intuitive point of view, but from a more feeling or medium-like point of view. Now, this person is the number 1 here. The number 1 stands for intellect, so it means that there's a healthy intellect. And the 2 here, that's another thing. So you might have noticed there are numbers in brackets, and there are numbers like that were not in brackets. And what that means is that these numbers without brackets are the most dominant, strong, powerful numbers, and the numbers in brackets have an influence, but not all the time, and less dominant. So there you have that. So now this person also has a 2 up here. So basically you could say the number 1 is always the self-interest, and then the 2 is theoretically, or as a dear Indian friend of mine says, theoretically. So theoretically, this is ambiguous. So it's like me first, but the other as well, And what we see here is this means this is an individual who is very good at working, organizing, studying, dealing with the material world. And this means that it's a person who has a fair amount of power. Just excuse me 1 second. So, talking a lot makes one thirsty. So, this is someone who naturally will gravitate to power, authority, and somebody who's got clout is the best way I can say it, with a T. So, if you don't know what that means, look it up. And this means that using their power actually helps them grow intuitively and become strong. And this means that by serving and helping people, and also while traveling, people grow. That I don't know too much about it. You can hear him doubting a little bit, but that does kind of apply. And this means that this person really wants the perfect relationship with a dad, with male co-workers. If there's a brother, with a brother. If it's a woman, she'd want the ultimate relationship. And if it's a man that, who likes men, then also they'd want the ultimate relationship. And so there you have it. And so one could argue that the more numbers, the more rounded somebody is. The more qualities you have, but also the more baggage you have. So this person has a lot of qualities, but a lot of baggage. And yeah, the 8 aspect also stands for matter and wealth and legal affairs and lawsuits and karma. And 8 is an endless loop, right? As above, so below. So having said all of this, it might be fun to know that this happens to be numerology of a former US president. And I don't know how it is with copyright and all of that. I mean, I'm sure you're allowed to use names. But anyway, so it's a former US president, and from the last century, and somebody whose wife also ran for presidency. Okay, said enough. You can figure it out. And so from my point of view, if I look at this person and how their life was and is, this is so accurate. This is so spot on. So that's interesting. So that's numerology for you guys. Anyway, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed watching. If you have comments, questions, please post them in the comments below. Please give me a like, a thumbs up. That really helps me. And subscribe if you're interested for more content. Wishing you a great day or a great evening wherever you are. Take care.